Hi guys, welcome back to another one of Paul's beer reviews. I hope you're all doing well. I've got a non-alcoholic beer to review for you. It's been a little while since I've done one of these. Did a few last year in my quest to lose some weight, and I'm kind of getting back onto that case again. This beer was kindly sent to me by the guys at Brewery, in particular Scott, the head brewer there. Thank you, dude. This is their brand new Beck low alcohol pale ale. Coming in at 0.5% ABV. Met Scott at a little beer festival in Camden. It was a 4th of July American craft beer festival, and we got talking, and we stayed in touch with one another, and I've had a few beers from Feld Brewery since then, and they've all been really good, to be honest. They're based up in Cumbria, right up in the north. You can't get much more north of England than that. But yeah, he got in touch with me a couple of weeks ago, and he said, Paul, we've just done a low alcohol pale, would you be interested in trying it? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I've done a few low, no alcohol beers lately, and I'm always looking out for another good one. So he kindly sent me a few of these and a few more of their others in their range, which I'm probably going to do some reviews on. So look out for those if you're interested. So yeah, this one, Beck, low alcohol pale, 0.5% ABV, unfined, unfiltered. It doesn't say much else, to be honest with you. Scott hasn't given much away. So I'm looking forward to this. Got it nice and cold. Low alcohol pale ale. Perfect time of year to review something like this. A lot of people are cutting down on their alcohol consumption. And if you just want a beer, but perhaps don't want the alcohol in your system, you just want to feel nice and fresh the next day, I'm with you. So here we go. So let's get it into the glass. It's certainly, oh, that looks cracking. It's got a lovely colour to it. Give it a wriggle. There we go. Leave that there so we can see it. The felt branding, there's a logo. Looks like a fingerprint or a thumbprint. So Beck, here she is in the glass. So it looks good. That looks pretty good. I love the colour. Nice hazy golden look to it. Looks kind of like an orange squash. The head is dissipating on this one, pretty sharpish, so we've barely got much of a white head on it. That's pretty much gone now. But yes, a hazy gold in colour. No floaters or anything really to worry about in that sense. Tiny bit of carbonation, not much going on there. But it looks good. It's a nice colour. Let's get me snouting, see what the aroma is telling us. Oh, that smells quite nice. In fact, that smells very nice. Lemon, lime, orange. Very citrusy. Touch of stone fruit about it as well. Like a bit of peach, a bit of apricot. It's not got the strongest aroma in the world. It's not leaping out at you, as you would imagine. Oh, but you give it a little wriggle. That smells great. Nice and fruity. Nice and inviting. Let's get stuck in. Cheers. Okay. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. There are very few low, no alcohol beers so far that I've tried that I've genuinely enjoyed. To the point where I'd go and pick up a load, or I'd order a load just to have in the fridge. Mainly because with a lot of these low alcohol beers, I often find there's a very odd, savoury kind of chemically taste at the back end. I've described it in the past as tasting a bit like dog biscuits. Not that I've ever eaten dog biscuits, but the taste reminds me of the aroma of dog biscuits. That's the only way I can describe it. There is a tiny bit of a savoury finish to this, but it's not overpowering, because what precedes it is very good. There is the orange that I spoke of and the aroma that really comes through. There's a lemony vibe to it, a lime taste. It's light on the body, as you would imagine. not quite watery. It is very thin. It is kind of like drinking a glass of water. That kind of body. But there is a lovely sort of lemongrass, lime and orange juice flavour to it. The carbonation does a good job at really heightening your taste buds, and that citrus, the orange in particular, and the lime really jumps out at you. And then that sort of settles down, and then you get a slightly drying finish, but that's still lemony. It's still kind of a lemony finish to it. And then there's just a touch of a savoury finish to it. But like I say, it's not strong on this one. It's not overpowering. It doesn't spoil it. It's still nicely balanced. Excuse me. It's quite gassy, this one. It is quite gassy. Giving it a bit of a wriggle. Yeah, it's definitely lemon and lime. Excuse me again. Definitely lemon and lime strong. And a touch of stone fruit, that bit of peach and apricot vibe coming through as well. It's got a lovely smell. Really does smell good. But on the palate, I'm struggling to get that stone fruit. It's all about the citrus. Touch of grapefruit, lemon, orange juice. Definitely like orange squash. Bit of lime, and then it develops and it gets slightly more drying and slightly more herbal at the back end, and it becomes more grassy, and then right at the end there's that slightly savoury finish, but it's not off-putting at all. That is very drinkable. That is very refreshing. If you wanted a citrusy refreshing pale ale without the alcohol, you could do a hell of a lot worse. Scott, you've done a decent job there, mate. That is drinkable as hell. I've got no issue with that whatsoever. Beck, low alcohol pale from Fell Brewery in Cumbria. I quite like that. It's not bad at all. It's really hard to score non-alcoholic beers because you can't compare them to beers with alcohol. It's just not fair. There's a few non-alcoholic beers that I've really enjoyed. And I do say few. I could probably count on one hand. Ones that I particularly remember. Guinness stands out. Lucky Saint stands out. Nirvana's lager and their IPA both stand out. I've not had many that I've really enjoyed. This, off the top of my head, I could probably say quite easily, it's probably the best low alcohol pale I've ever tried. That's actually very drinkable. Easy drinking. It quenches that beer thirst. If you want a beer, but you don't want the alcohol, it does the job. That's a perfectly decent product. So once again, Fell Brewery, Beck, I like it. I like it enough to give that an 8 out of 10. So thanks again to Scott and the guys at Fell Brewery. Keep doing what you're doing. Please give the video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Until my next one, you take care.